Hey, how's it going, everybody? Happy Valentine's Day on this special day for you love munchkins out there who are celebrating it. Even though I choose not to celebrate it personally, I hope you have a beautiful day with your significant others. For those of you who are in relationships, so let's get involved as I chime in on this celebratory day. I'm just that little birdie who always loves to chirp, so you know how I do. Welcome to the episode. So, what are my thoughts on Valentine's Day, really? Oh, what a glorious day for consumerism, ladies and gentlemen. I need you to buy shit. Just keep buying shit all the time. And February 14th is an excuse to buy chocolates, heart shaped party balloons, greeting cards, $900 bottles of scotch, however you choose to rock. As for me, I don't celebrate any holidays such as this. Not just because I'm single, but the more time I spend with myself, the more time I come to appreciate solitude. And I'm not a hateful Henry just by choosing to be alone based on my choices at this time. All it really means is I pick and choose my friends wisely, so the same thing should be said about potentially getting to know or date a girl. If you choose foolishly, you may fall into the trap of a self-fulfilling plan that rewards one person and does nothing for the other. Been there, done that, fellas. Been there, done that, ladies. So if you're listening now and thinking, oh, it's just so awful that I'm all alone on this special day, wah, think again and express gratitude for the very fact that in most cases, the grass is not greener on the other side, and by choosing to avoid getting into a relationship with the wrong person for you, you actually end up dodging a bullet. Let's elaborate on the grass is not always greener on the other side analogy. You take a couple who's been together for a while. Could just be dating, could be married, but the chances are that if these people are living together, sometimes they really fight with each other. Doesn't have to be all the time, because it's only natural that people get into certain disagreements sometimes, but sometimes just the wrong people get together. I'm actually the legal definition of a bastard, and I can't make this shit up. So, what is a bastard son doing hosting his own podcast? I don't know. Why is the grass green? Not necessarily because the grass is greener on the other side, but some people in life will base their entire self worth on having a marriage or just something like having a girlfriend. What happens when you've never been married, had children, or you're making a decision to not even try doing that anymore? At this point, you become comfortable in your own company because you feel more at peace spending time with yourself than spending time with argumentative, dramatic types of people. I'm not saying everybody is that way, only the ones I've dated. But the past is in the past for a reason. It's meant to teach us a lesson about inviting the wrong types of people into our lives, which applies to dating but could be anything, including friends or potential business partnerships. Wow, I'm so alone and nobody knows me. Okay, I get it. You're vibing with the legal definition of a bastard, so I very much understand where you're coming from. It's just that when you can accept no longer caring about validation of others, and you can accept no longer caring whether or not you want to date or get married or have children, you can learn how to let go of the need to build your self-worth based on the reliance of other people. And once you do that, you awaken to a higher level of self. You become the person you were always meant to become without the specific need of approval or validation from other people. So embrace your solitude, my lonely dudes. Embrace your solitude, my lonely ladies. You gotta embrace it. Once you begin to embrace it, you will truly be at peace with the fact that it is not required to do the same thing everybody else does, and those romantic comedies are not based on reality or real life situations. Want to know my honest opinion on romantic comedies for the most part? It insults the viewer's intelligence by giving them a false sense of hope that they're happily ever after stories, because most of these people spend their entire lives searching for it, and no matter what level of success or social circle you end up stepping into, you'll see wealthy people who are successful and rich also get divorced. It happens all the time. This will confirm that those romantic comedy movies that made you feel all warm and fuzzy inside were not based off of real life situations. Now, I'm not saying couples can't find true happiness together and eventually build a strong marriage. I'm saying most of them try and they don't make it. So be thankful on this day if you're feeling lonely and give yourself some credit for not getting into the relationship with the wrong type of person. When you do that, you'll no longer care about getting married. You'll no longer care about having children. Even though those are worthwhile goals to strive towards, I don't think anybody gets into a marriage and anticipates starting a family with the intention of not seeing things through. Most times it just doesn't work out, and it's nobody's fault, but that's a part of life. All you can do is pick and choose your friends wisely as well as your potential love interests, and understand why you feel the constant need to be in a position where you are required to date. You really aren't required to do anything. Be your own person and establish boundaries when people start acting really weird around you. Since you are the topic of loneliness on this special day, allow your digital therapist, good doctor, and law abiding citizen to chime in on things you can do in order to make yourself feel less lonely. Find new hobbies, focus on new things that bring you peace, joy, and fulfillment. In my case, I love to work on music. I like to read books. I enjoy sharing my views on human nature and human behaviors. And I love to post content about that on my YouTube channel. I like to speak out against people who act uncivilized on social media. I just feel like if people spent more time focusing on themselves and less time hating on others, the world would be a much better place. Not everybody sees it that way, but that's kind of their problem. And if they are listening, almost this sense of Stockholm syndrome where we're living rent free inside of their heads and they cannot comprehend the fact that what they say or do does not bother us. And if they insult us and hate on us, it ends up hurting them more in the long run. Anyways, that's how I choose to see it. Let's move on. You know how they say life is like a box of chocolates? Well, imagine if you stop comparing yourself to other people and you put your time and energy into 3 different hobbies, passions, or skills. You would have a very limited amount of time to get inside of other people's energy. Even if they are talking, so what? Everybody talks. When you step into your energy and claim it as your own, nobody else is living off of it. They're just discussing you based on the fact that they see you and you're doing something that triggers them for whatever reason. Maybe it inspires them, maybe it makes them jealous or envious. But I know it's not my responsibility to fix them, because nobody can fix anybody but the person fix themselves. That's the way I choose to see it. I'm going to be me and be my own person, and I've got my own issues as well. However, I'm happy to provide insight into what makes the average human tick, because you all know me, baby. I'm that little bird that keeps on chirping, chirp, chirp, chirp. So when you single folks out there really do this, oh, nobody loves me and I'm all alone. On this Valentine's Day, I'm spending it alone. Are you going to waste it being envious of others who are in relationships? Or are you going to enjoy the pleasure of your own company? I know that's what I'll be doing, enjoying the pleasure of my own company. Because people suck and swans are better. That's right, my fellow digital besties. People suck and swans are better. Here's what I mean by that. When I observe swans, I go to these specific areas where there's no houses or businesses around. It's just a very small, limited space for nature. And when you observe animals out in nature, you appreciate the beauty of life with complete silence and not hearing the voices of negativity, hate, and drama. All you do is observe nature in silence. So when I go by these places, I see these beautiful swans out in nature being with their families. It's usually not a big family, just a family of about 4 swans. And witnessing them just being there, free, is truly something beautiful. Something you'll also sometimes notice is a swan hanging out by itself. For whatever reason, it's not with other swans. But you see it being there in nature, and it's free. So you start to really respect what freedom means and just how beautiful nature is. I'm going to end it there, everybody. I hope you enjoyed today's episode of Downloadable Brain. This was episode 9, and remember, sometimes being by yourself is better than being with the wrong person. So appreciate your solitude. Have a great day, everyone.